guys, so I'm going to quickly try and make my question and answer video, and it's approaching around the time when I start preparing tea for the kids, so I'm going to try and do this as fast as I can because I have a tendency to just ramble and ramble and ramble on forever. So I'm going to try and go fast. Please excuse the quality of this film because the lighting is awful. It's getting dark already, and this is the only place in the house where I can go where it's reasonably quiet. So yeah, if you could just excuse the noise in the background, which is the kids in the other room playing, and the lighting, and the rambling, and the constant hair touching, which I'm really trying to teach myself not to do. But apparently, whenever I'm faced with a mirror or a camera, well, it's not a camera, it's my iPad, and I can see myself, so it's like really annoying. I'm basically staring at myself whilst trying to talk to somebody that's not there. But you are there, but you're over there. I'm going to try not to, really hard. So I've got the questions on my phone here, and I'm going to try and read them off for you. I have questions off my question and answer video, and a couple of other questions that have come up on my community messaging thing that just shows some recent comments, and I will try and get to them as well. So don't be confused if there's a couple of questions that aren't actually on that video. They just were recent questions that I wrote down at the same time. Okay guys, so first question is from, please forgive me if I can't pronounce your names properly because half of them I can't even spell, so I'll try my hardest to pronounce them correctly for you. The first one is from Amjad Tamimi, and they say, "You are so sweet, thank you. Could you please make another video this night and improve the quality for camera? Thanks for sharing." So I think what they're saying is, can you please make another video with better quality, with a better camera? And this is a good question because I get asked it a lot. The problem is that I can't make better quality videos at the moment because I do not have a camera at all. Any type of camera, I don't have one. Used to, and it broke, and I haven't replaced it. And so yeah, I can't make a better quality video at the moment. I plan to buy a good camera, but at the moment it's about timing because I need to research to make sure I get a good one because I don't want to spend money and then I get something that's really crap. So I've got to do some research, and believe it or not, I just don't seem to have time to do anything that requires me to sit down and not do something practical. So yeah, time and then money. Obviously I've got to have some money to buy a camera, and you know, there's always a million other things that are more important that need to be paid for than buying myself a gift, which is what I see it is be a gift for me only. And so, like, you know, with kids and everything, you know, there's always somebody else that needs something more important. So until I can afford it and have the time to research it, then I'm stuck with my iPhone and my iPad, which I am making like reasonable videos with them, but obviously compared to a lot of the other videos out there, they're pretty rubbish. But if you could just bear with me until I get a camera, then I would really appreciate it. And you know, it means so much to me that you guys watch my videos when I'm, you know, basically giving you crappy quality videos, and I know that, and so I just think you guys are great for like tolerating me. But yeah, as soon as I can, I will, and then hopefully I'll make amazingly good quality videos, and you'll see every blemish on my face, and I'll be miserable, but you guys will be happy. I have another question from Ms. Keane. Being so young and managing children must have matured your thinking very fast. People always have something to say when you're doing bad or good in life. You have to learn to tune them out and not even give them the attention they seek. True. But I have a question. How did you manage the terrible twos? And did you find yourself in conflict with your husband on how they should be disciplined for their misbehaviour? Okay, so this is a good question. The terrible twos. It's not a good time. The terrible twos. I've got 4 kids, so I've had 3 children that have gone through the terrible twos, and my 4th child, Daniel, is going through the terrible twos right now, and it's not fun. It's really, really not fun. And my advice or suggestions on how I deal with it is to just keep holding on to the thought that it doesn't last forever. It's just a phase, it's just a phase, and it will be over soon. And, if you can keep that in your mind, that this child that's behaving like a crazy animal is not going to be like it forever, and try not to react too much to their misbehaviour, because that's actually going to make it worse. So try and keep your cool and keep reminding yourself, you are the parent, you are in control, not this tiny little child. Even though it might be very, very loud and very, very scary, this child is not in control. You are in control. And, try and keep your cool. Just keep your cool. And you decide how things go. Also, I do believe that a 2-year-old, even though they're very, very young and don't have a great idea of what's going on in the world, I think that is still old enough to learn some discipline. I mean, in terms of knowing what behaviours are acceptable and what aren't. They might not understand it, they might not know why, but they can understand yes and no. And if you say yes to something, they can have it, and if you say no, they can't have it. Now, again, they might not understand all of that, but they certainly will understand it if there's a negative consequence every time they do something that you have said no to. So, for instance, with Danny, if he is playing with something and he's being naughty, I will take it away from him, and he doesn't get it back until he's behaving. So basically, even I know this sounds like a really young age to be disciplined like this, but I do believe that he's old enough, to be disciplined. I just tell him no in a really stern, strict voice, and show my displeasure, which obviously most of the time is enough to stop him. But if he's in a really, really bad mood, or he's really repeatedly misbehaving, I will take away whatever he is playing with, and so he learns then that when he's misbehaving in a certain way, that's negative for him. It's basically like a puppy, really, because they don't have a whole lot of intelligence, do they? Puppies are quite intelligent, but they're still not that intelligent, are they? So I do discipline Danny. I do. Obviously he's 2, so I can't do a whole lot of discipline with him because he just doesn't understand. Just keep you cool, don't react, because they're just these emotional explosions, aren't they? And if you can try and keep your cool and allow them to express themselves to a degree, because a lot of the time I think they just don't know what they're doing. So they're learning to express themselves. They can't express themselves, so they're just... And, just allow them room for that, because obviously that is part of, their learning, But, so don't take it personally, but don't allow their temper tantrums and their bad behaviour change what you're doing. So if you are going to be going out the door and you have to get to school, to get the other kids from school and stuff like that, and your kid decides to have a tantrum, you can not react to it, but you've still got to go and get your kids from school, so you're going to have to do something. So don't allow them to make you, stay at home and let them have a tantrum for an hour. You've still got to get on with it. So basically, you're still in control, you're the parent. You will pick that kid up and put it in the car, and just don't react to its screamings and rantings and thrashings about. And basically, the same with anything, it wants to get out the buggy. No, it's staying in the buggy. You're the parent, you're in the control. But they are going to scream and have hysterics because they can't express themselves. I think this is the part of the terrible situation, is that they want what they want and they can't understand why they can't have it. And then they explode because they can't cope with the emotion of it. So if you understand that's what they're going to do, and expect it even, but don't react to it. So if they explode and they start screaming, don't go to pacify your child, don't give in to it, because that's going to just teach it that it's got to do that behaviour to get what it wants. So it's almost the opposite. Basically it has this huge emotional explosion, let them go on with it. Doesn't change anything. You're still in control. You're still saying what's going to happen. It doesn't last too long, thank goodness. And just keep reminding yourself, I'm the parent here. I'm in control. I make the choices. I make the decisions, and they have to go along with it. And they are going to make a horrible noise whilst you're doing it, but they're going to have to get over it, aren't they? And did you find yourself in conflict with your husband on how they should be disciplined? No, because my husband is disabled, so he doesn't really get involved very much with parenting. That's all down to me. So he's kind of empowered me, given me all the authority to discipline the children however I see fit. And he's happy with that. So really we don't have a choice in the matter because he's not around to do this disciplining, so I have to. But he supports me in how I choose to do that. Prior to him being as ill as he is now, we were kind of worked as a team, and we supported each other. And even if we didn't support each other, we never disagreed in front of the kids. So say if he disciplined in a different way that I really disagreed with, I wouldn't be shouting him down in front of the children. I would go along with it until we were, away from the children, and then I'd be like, I didn't agree with how you did this. I think we should have done that instead, and vice versa, the same. I would, he would go along with me and support me in front of the kids, but then, we would discuss it privately, because I think if you undermine the other parent in front of your children, that is the worst thing. Sorry about that, I had to go to the kids quickly. So the second question was, do you find yourself in conflict with your husband when it comes to disciplining? No, because my husband's disabled, so he gives me the authority to discipline our children in any way I see fit, and then he is supportive of that, because we have little choice really, because he is so ill all the time, he has very little input, and I'm basically the mother and the father in terms of the soft nurturing side of being a mother, and then the very strict disciplinary side of being a father. Not saying that those are the only parts of parenthood, I'm just saying that those, I have to be the both. Anyway, I just think that it's really important that even if you disagree with each other, that you don't do it in front of the children, because if you undermine the other parent's authority in front of the kids, then that, I think, can cause so much problem. So, for instance, if my husband, because my husband is really, really liberal, whereas I'm really, really strict, which is kind of weird that it's that way around, but I'm really, really strict and have loads of rules about what the kids can and can't do, whereas my husband's more laid back and just let the kids do this and the other. And but if I have, say if my husband has, said, oh, can't the kids do this, that and the other, I'll try not to go crazy in front of the kids. I'll wait, and I'll go along with him in front of the children, and then behind closed doors I'd be like, I don't think we should do that, I think it's a bad idea because of this, that and the other, and vice versa. If he thinks that I'm being too strict about something, he'll go along with what I'm saying, and then when the kids aren't around, he'll be like, babe, it's not that big a deal, just let them do this, that and the other, whatever. So we just work as a team as best we can, but for the most part, he goes along with whatever I say and agrees with whatever I do, which is kind of amazing, really, because I get to do whatever I want. But on the other hand, it's also quite difficult, because I really wish sometimes that I could just say to the kids, I'm telling your father, and then they would get into heaps of terrible trouble. But instead I can't. I'm like, I will tell myself later to discipline you when I remember. Joking.